reminds them. It's kind of cool. It's this long wall, but it's got all these flowers that look kind of like wheat or something like that. I really don't know the type of, it's not really a flower, but it's more of kind of like weeds or something. But it's it goes on and on and on for a very long time. And it's actually etched in. It's etched into the actual concrete. And I never even saw this before. But it goes on for quite a bit of time. You can see back here, it goes back all the way there. And you see, it looks almost like, not really trees, more like, I don't know, like shrubbery or plantation or something. It goes on and on and on. Was an interesting wall right here in the middle of Arlington. I don't know, it's a giant wall, and there's the highways on the other side, but it's like it doesn't make any sense. But I don't know, it's like maybe 30 feet high, 35 feet high or so. And if you look right over here, you know, look how far it goes. And that's all that is that's just an entrance from the highway. And then you've got this right here, it's a huge wall, and that's just the highway. It's not like it's, you know, shielding anything. It's very strange. It just looks odd. Sonic. Can you imagine an Indian food Sonic? Could I have some hummus and bread and let's see, and some ocean water?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do it.
All right, there it is. the one and only AT&T Stadium, where the Cowboys play. Now, they do bring in concerts here, believe it or not. They brought in big names right here. Now, this is also a funeral site for the American sniper Chris Kyle, who was a Navy SEAL. He had tons of mental problems. So did some of his friends. And he was actually executed by one of, I don't know if it was his friend. I think it was kind of like a friend, but it was another military personnel that had post-traumatic stress disorder. And he killed him at the target practice. They go to this shooting range way out in Texas, and he executed him. I don't know the guy's name, but it was Chris Kyle that got killed. And he was trying to start some kind of program for wounded military or wounded ex-military, and they were to shoot or to go to a shooting range, and he actually killed Chris Kyle right there on the shooting range. They didn't really show that in the movie, which I thought that was a bad choice for Clint Eastwood. I think he should have focused on that only. But anyway, there it is. That's AT&T Stadium. Is the stadium. That's Choctaw Stadium, which is built originally for the Texas Rangers, but it wasn't built. The design, it became too, it was too hot. It was built kind of like a stadium you'd see in Boston or in Northeast kind of thing. It has that kind of feel. The only problem was it doesn't work well in heat, not in Texas heat. So they had to move on to another stadium right across the way, which is Globe Life Stadium. This was supposed to be the stadium. I thought it looked kind of cool. It kind of reminded me of like a Red Sox or whatever, but it's actually Texas Rangers. It was at one time. They called it the Choctaw Stadium here in Arlington, Texas. So it was cool. It was cool that while it lasted, but they didn't really like it. So the Rangers moved right there to Globe Life, which is pretty much close, and it's indoor. That way more people will go, and air conditioning and stuff like that. They still do events here. They do concerts, oddball sports. I don't know the real sports that they do, but they do bring in sport events here, just not the Texas Rangers. It's a pretty cool little stadium, though. It's got a cool little feel. It'd be cool to shoot maybe a movie here or something. You have here really nice trolleys too, right here. Alright, so here we have Six Flags, right crossing Magic Mile Road to Six Flags is the road that I'm on. That's the road I'm on right here, literally road to Six Flags. But this is, you can see the giant here. That has killed a few people. It's actually killed a few people. It severed someone's torso, killed them right there on the track. That right there, that is actually the oil derrick. And then near there is Superman. Then there's some kind of toboggan ride right there. And then right here you can see that's the Six Flags swings. And then there's a few rides there, the Joker and the Riddler. You can see they're still there. They're only open on weekends right now, so I don't know. And then the Judge Roy Scream, which actually a screenplay, Judge Roy Beam, was written by John Milius, who wrote Apocalypse Now. But that's actually Judge Roy Scream, which is also known as Judge Roy Beam, or Judge Roy Beam, which Paul Newman took that role on for John Milius in Hollywood. And that's what that roller coaster is right there. That one right there. Saw a documentary the other night about John Milius. Didn't see the very end. Oh, I did see the end of it. It seemed like something happened to him. I watched most of it, and then it just kind of switched over, and it looked like he had something went on, and he was not able to speak, or wasn't able to speak like he used to be. But he was using a computer and a dry eraser board to kind of talk and stuff like that. I don't know how he's doing now, though, but he's still alive. I don't know if he's back up to writing scripts. Pretty incredible guy, his story. But anyway, this is Judge Roy Scream, which comes from Judge Roy Beam. So it comes from Judge Roy Beam, but it's actually Judge Roy's Scream. And this was the big ride that we rode when we were kids, when we were teenagers back in the 80s, 1980s. Probably when John Milius was at his height. That's when he was writing most all his scripts and everything. It was in the 1980s. He did Conan the Barbarian, Apocalypse Now. A lot of great scripts. Uncommon Valor, which is one of my favorites, and Red Dawn. Red Dawn was a tremendous feat of filmmaking. With great actors too. See all of this construction right now with this new highway leading into Mixed Master, which will bring people into Six Flags over Texas in Arlington. And you can see all of this right here, which is the new Mixed Master. Whenever I saw Conan the Barbarian, I never really thought John Milius wrote that. It didn't seem like his style, but it was just like pretty blown away, you know, because I was into Dungeons and Dragons, but I was just seeing like pure evil, you know, and this man having to push this thing around in a circle, you know, this like bar, and becomes stronger, and he grows up and he becomes Conan, and then he has to like kill this snake and all this. It was like facing pure evil, you know. It was addictive. Apocalypse Now had a little bit of that too. Side of Six Flags over Texas, you can see the Superman right there. And it just hadn't been really rolling lately. No one's really been there. Oh, gee, don't. That's like 3.4 seconds. Sorry about that. Jesus love. Here, let me move over here. Move right over and let you pass here. Here we go. Go ahead. Oh, nope, he's coming behind me instead. I'll just go in the middle lane. Go this way and let him pass. Here we go. We'll go this way. There you go. Here you go, royalty. Here you go, Mr. King Honk. Come on through. There you go. Just, slowing down, acting weird. There he goes. Anyway, that's Six Flags over that way. WXYZ Lounge is actually a pretty good place to go. This is like basically a big E-loft. This is really big during cowboy games and stuff like that. You can see Six Flags over that way. And on the other side over there is where the stadium is. Six Flags not operating right at the current moment right now. I'll walk over to Valero. This fucking $3 Pizza Hut crap. Pizza Hut got a hold of me again. Appears to be a Valero right here. This place, I know it's called Ballpark Beverage. And I was like, y'all have hot dogs? And they're like, no, we don't have hot dogs. I was like, it's some kind of political thing or something? Like, why wouldn't a gas station not have hot dogs? Well, I guess I'll just head back. I gotta pick up this Pizza Hut. Freaking starvers. Once you're gonna go in and get a hot dog. Got my dogs. Got a couple dogs in there. Some hot dogs. Show the actual ones. Some sausage dogs. Real good. There's the other one. Reports on the weather bug that there's a lightning storm coming up. So y'all be careful on that lightning storm. I'm gonna eat them sausage dogs pretty good. Hot dog break. Now I like going to QT. QT has some good ones. And this is gonna be tricky. But here's the actual hot dog, and it's rolling. It's a rolling. So their bread is like, I don't know. They had no garnish or anything at the store. It's mostly a political thing. If you go into a QT and they don't got the garnish and all the hot dog stuff, that's a political move. Mmm. Dutch angle. Pretty good. Now, this one is a little bit better. Not as good as the first one because the bread wasn't there. They had no garnish, no banana peppers, no jalapenos. They had no garnish, no sauerkraut, nothing. So you had to eat it just with a strip of mustard. That's not QT. That's a fun. But pretty good. They did have the sausage dogs though. Where the not the Walt Disney, I'm sorry, the Halloween. I forgot where the Halloween stuff went. It was just here like 2 seconds ago. It was right here. It's completely disappeared. All the Christmas stuff, it's still here. I was here just the other day, same store. There was Halloween stuff right here. It's completely and utterly gone. It's not over here either. Pretty weird. Pretty weird. Oh, here it is. They moved it over here. Right here. This would be a good one for Lizzie. Well, no, she's going down to that. More like Gwendolyn, my second daughter. Maybe Lizzie might be too small for Lizzie right there. It is. I think I have some footage of her wearing something like that. I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, there's Alec Baldwin, and he's back at it, so he didn't stop working, but you know, that's all I'm gonna say. He's back at it, and he's doing the classical stuff. No guns on set, just plastic knives. Ow! Alright, well, that's all I have for you right now for tonight on this August 30th. Well, not all. I mean, it's not all. It's just tail end of it. It's not the end of it, but when it comes to delivery. Then we're going to head back. And here is the side of Arlington at night. You can see the swing ride, and there's part of Batman, and that's Six Flags, and there's Superman, and that's an oil derrick. Over there is Globe Life. You can kind of see Globe Life from here. And there's Six Flags, which is only open on the weekends now. I don't know if it'll be the same way next year. It says annual passes starting at $10 a month. Just got that right there from the billboard. So it's $10 a month. I guess you can drop the annual pass as you're going through it. I don't know if you can or can't. But $10 a month is pretty good. That's pretty good. And it's only seasonal, so you're only probably paying $60, maybe 60 or 70 if you do the 6 or 7 months. Plus, you have to do Fright Night. Remember, Fright Night's coming up in October, so probably annual pass members will be able to go to Fright Night. Not a bad deal. $10 a month. You only have to pay it for the season, which is usually only 6 months at the most. That'd be like 3 months in the summer if you want to do the whole season. Then you've got September, then October. There's 5 months, and then probably a month before summer. So May, starting in May is what I'm thinking. I don't know when the season opens, but we're headed back. Okay, pretty soon here we'll be approaching the Channel 11 tower, also known as the 21 tower. You can see it beeping right there. And I remember Saturday morning cartoons back in the 80s. You turn it to Channel 11. You had those little switcher things. You'd switch on the TV. You'd turn this little knob, and we'd turn to Channel 11, and it'd be Saturday morning cartoons on Saturday morning. And then they would sometimes broadcast from places like putt-putt golf, and I thought that was really cool. They do local broadcast. Also, Channel 11, they had they broadcast David Letterman through Channel 11. So if you turned it on Channel 11, you could get David Letterman. And that was kind of the channel. David Letterman, you could turn it on Channel 11, and that's how you'd watch David Letterman back in the day. You can see it right there. It's kind of blinking. That's the Channel 11 Saturday morning cartoons. Was kind of cool. It's also 21 now. Channel 11 and then 21. But that's the tower. That's where they broadcast. They still broadcast even today. They even said, I heard this rumor, I don't know if it's true, but supposedly Fort Worth had the first television broadcast out of an independent city. It's coming out of Fort Worth. And there's Fort Worth. So Fort Worth actually has a group called the Allied Theater Group, which consists of Jubilee, Circle Theater, Hip Pocket Theater, Stage West, and I believe Casa Manana helps with them. So it's a series of theaters that have been here a long time. Pretty cool. So one of the theaters that actually has joined the Allied Group, which is Circle Theater, Stage West, Hip Pocket Theater, Casa Manana, and I believe Theater of Arlington too. Yeah, Theater of Arlington, and also Artes de la Rosa, which is the Rose Mariner Theater. or I think some people say Rose Marine Theater, which is actually a Latino theater that's kind of by the Stockyards. And they are all part of the Allied theater group. And this right here is actually quite new. It is Top Golf. And man, have they made a big deal about it in Fort Worth. There's Fort Worth right there. And there's Top Golf. And that's the Trinity River. That's Top Golf right there. I picked up some people there in rideshare. One time I picked up this lady, she was just crying and crying and crying. I was like, what's wrong? What happened with Top Golf? And she was just crying and crying and crying. Don't know what happened. She was upset. They sell alcohol, Top Golf. Anyway, we're approaching Fort Worth right this way. But it was a kind of a place where you could go to, if you were in rideshare, people would take rideshare to Top Golf, and some places downtown too. I used to throw papers for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram back in the day, right out of college. Threw papers all around surrounding suburban areas of Fort Worth. We're coming up, we're kind of in the center of Fort Worth right here. Petroleum Club is at the top of this first building here, which if you're a member of the Petroleum Club, then you're usually a pretty important person in society. It's kind of a high society place. It's the top of that building right there. I've been up there a few times. We'll be going into what's kind of Sundance Square, and that's the Sundance parking lot, which we've used quite a bit. We've used that one for a few, like, indie films and, well, indie video, I guess you could say. Home movies, I guess maybe you could say that too. Whatever you really want to call it, you know. Independent productions, with some drive film production stuff. And we've used this quite a bit right here. Even Linda and I had vlogged this area right here. And this pretty much is vast.